What's up guys, this is Loma, and if you're thinking to yourself, is this bullish consolidation for Bitcoin? What are we expecting in the coming days? Then yeah, you're on the right video. We're going to talk about all of that and more. But before we get started, please hit that like button and subscribe to the Flashcrash channel to stay updated. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So as usual, we're going to start on the monthly chart. I'm going to go ahead and point out the same two key areas that I've been looking at since the last video. Okay. And what are these levels, right? So this was just the monthly high, the all-time monthly high. And this was just the highest close of 2019. So now with those two levels marked out, you're going to see that we broke above it, right, in July. And so far in August, we've retested it. And currently we're trading over it. We're trading at around 11.8 thousand. So logically, on a monthly level, I'm looking for this area to get tested, okay, which is just around 13.7 thousand. But let's take a look on the weekly just to, get a closer look at everything. All right, so the weekly, I'm going to delete that. Okay, so on the weekly, you'll see that this was the highest weekly close of 2019. All right, so that's around 11.5, and for this weekly, you're seeing almost like a fractal of the monthly, right, where we traded above it, and then the current week right now, we tested it, and now we're trading above. For me, it's hard to look at this chart right here and be bearish, right? So on a weekly, if we close the weekly above, what is this, 11.6, 11.5, I'm targeting the bottom of this weekly area, so that's around 13.5k. So if I'm taking a position, it would look something like this. All right, so something like that. What you're looking at is targeting the weekly lows right here, right? And your entry is above this area, so you can place your stop loss below this expansion wick and also below the highest 2019 monthly close. Essentially, I'm betting that we're bullish enough that if price did dump, right, say it did dump down here, buyers step in before we overtake this support area. Okay, so I'm betting that we don't lose this area if we're truly bullish, because if we do, this suddenly looks like this, right? And I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but then that just means we have a couple more weeks before we can even think of going up here. And what I'm more interested in would be the daily, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. All right, so if you think this looks familiar, that's because it is. All right, so this is actually very similar to Ethereum and a lot of majors that have been popping off. You'll see this and it looks like it's a bullish consolidation to me, just because we broke above, right, the highest 2019 monthly close, and now we're not really rejecting from this 2019 high on the weekly level, right? So to me, if this was bearish, we would have already gotten rejected, sellers would have already stepped in. But the fact that we're at high time frame resistance and we're not dumping, like, how often have you seen Bitcoin give you an opportunity to short at the highs or at the top, I guess, if this was the top? I haven't seen that in a long time, and maybe things are different this time around, but I'm betting they're not. So you're gonna see lower highs, higher lows. Okay, now okay. So this is consolidation right here, where the range is just tightening up, right? Where you're essentially seeing like the tightness of the range. And it would not surprise me to see this area get taken out. So 11.5, right? So this should dip to maybe 11.4, 11.5, retest the 2019 weekly close, and then pump up. And the reason for that is that took the highs, took the lows, took the highs again, got rejected. Would not surprise me if we took the lows at 11.4. Everyone screams that, oh my god, we're dead, they don't buy the dip, and boom, we end up at 13,500 within the next 7 days. That's what I'm trading, and it looks pretty similar to the weekly. So same idea here. Okay, so stop loss below the wick, entry at support, targeting resistance here, and giving yourself room to buy dips at these levels. Okay, so that's how I'm personally playing this. I might not even sell all my Bitcoin at this area. This is where I probably would just take profit. I'm not a big fan of closing entire positions during a bull market, because the same way that it was difficult for people to call a bottom, it's going to be equally, if not more difficult to call a top. So my biggest advice to you is just don't fucking do it. Like, you don't have to be this fucking wizard who calls tops and bottoms, okay? Like, just trade it, hold on to some exposure in case you're wrong. Right, you're essentially mitigating risk against you being a dumbass and trying to time the market. So again, 13.5k target, entry around 11.5, 11.6. You can FOMO on a breakout, and stop loss below the wick. That is also defended by the weekly and the monthly highs closes. And that wraps up this episode. I wanted to keep it super short. Hopefully this is under like 6-7 minutes. Don't want to waste too much of your time. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it as always. Let me know what you guys want to do for altcoins. I'm going to be looking at a couple of them. I have a couple in mind, but I'm always willing to hear you guys out, see what's interesting. So again, put it in the comments, whatever you guys want. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.